TOA community. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. TrainingTheOlderAdult.com. I am Robert Linkle. I want to talk to you today about this article from Silver Sneakers. It's an older one, 2017, but one of their recent newsletters. As they come out, they kind of bring back some of their archived content, and this is one that caught my eye. 4 exercises every senior should do, and you should do every day. And so I want to talk about some of the strategies, some of the exercise selections, a couple of the comments that are made by their experts in here. And before we get started on that, if you like the content, please subscribe, ring the bell, make sure you get to see any of our new content coming up. Try to put at least one new video, if not a couple more, every week up here for you. So we hope you're enjoying and help us grow our community by subscribing. That would be fantastic. All right, so let's get into this one. 4 exercises every senior, every older adult should do, and you should do them every day. So in here, a couple of things that caught my eye right away. Ann Phelps is a DDP physical therapist out of Chicago, and she says, one of the comments is this one, kind of start this whole thing off. While any movement is always better than none, there are certain foundational exercises that need to be performed more than designated workout days, etc. Here's not my problem with a statement like that, but just a thought on that. I've never liked the saying, some movement's better than no movement, or something's better than nothing. When you're talking about time-specific frames, meaning that we're not 20 years old anymore. We don't have a ton of time. I don't mean to be morbid or anything like that or doomsday. I just mean with older populations, every workout matters. Every effort that you put out there needs to be targeted, needs to be placed in the right direction. And so how do you make a comment that says, well, while anything's better than nothing, it's better to do something that's really well designed? Like, why not just focus your time on something that's really well designed rather than just chalking up and being like, well, I'll just make up some stuff today and I'm just supposed to be lifting, but I'll just go for a walk. Something's better than nothing. Okay, well, is it a fast, efficient, tempoed walk where you're really getting after it, or are you just going out for a stroll? Do you understand what I mean by this? It's like, rather than just saying like, I'm just gonna check the box and do this for 30 minutes, I would rather you be super intent on something for 15 minutes and do it to your best potential rather than check the box, even if it's for twice as long. You know what I mean? There's a mindset to it. I'm not saying it's not beneficial. It's always beneficial to move more, okay? I'm just saying that there's a mindset to this of, am I just gonna roll through this, get it done, say that I did it, or could I even maybe take a little less time, put a little bit more intention, a little more thought, a little more design into what I'm doing, and really do it well and reap the benefits from that? Because I think we could all agree that if you were to walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes or, at a 2.5 and you're just strolling the whole time, never raise your heart rate really high, you're just kind of the whole way across the board, 50% effort. Where if you did half the amount of time, but you did intensities where you were rolling hills, right? I think you'd get more out of a shorter bout at a higher intensity than you would at this stagnant, what they call LSD, long, slow distance, okay? Just this across the board. There's really not a huge benefit to that, right? We didn't really challenge the system enough to create any kind of change. But in your mind, you go, I did my exercise for the day. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't really like those types of statements, especially when you follow it up with, well, it's actually better if you design something more specific. So I get it. I get it. They're trying to say move. And even if you don't feel like moving much, it's still better to do something than not. I just say, try to get that mindset of, I always want to do something with really good intention. Even if I'm not feeling great today, let's make it a smaller bout and do the best we can with a good high intensity, etc. Okay? All right, as she continues into here, they talk a little bit more about performing exercises at home. You can do them first thing in the morning as you're getting out of bed. Do them during commercial breaks. Do them while you're moving from room to room, etc. Okay, so let's go thoughts on that. Okay. You've been laying down from anywhere between 6 to 10 hours, okay? Some individuals, when they're laying down, myself included, for long periods of time, I would say more than 4 hours or so, are extremely stiff when they first wake up, extremely stiff. Like your every joint in your body is rigid and tight, and it's just been laying, not moving for 6 to 8 hours, and it needs to get up slowly and move around first before it's ready to do any exercises. So I am not a fan of, I just woke up, hey, let's do some glute bridges and heel slides and sit-ups in bed, like you'll see some people prescribe before they even get up. Number one, you're on a very soft platform on a bed, and doing the majority of your exercises on that is not ideal because it just kind of molds and mushes to you, and you don't really get a whole range of motion because the ground is moving, your surface is now moving underneath you. So when you bridge, or your hips actually raising up or your heels pushing down, are you getting the range of motion, etc.? It's just not super efficient. Again, we're about efficiency. I would rather people get up, start their day, go brush your teeth, go to the bathroom, go out, get your coffee going, walk around, let the dog out, like get your body moving a little bit, and then take 15 minutes and go do your mobility routine. I think that's a great idea, okay? Then the day goes on a little bit and you're like, we're gonna watch my favorite TV show. Show comes on, the commercials are up. Okay, cool. What can we do during the commercials, right? Shoulder raises, bicep curls, tricep extensions, calf pumps. There's a little routine I'm gonna do. I'll do those during my commercial breaks. This is another one of those mindsets of something's better than nothing. You're like, hey, there were 3 commercials during Matlock, and it's always Matlock, right? We were watching the Golden Girls, and Murder, She Wrote was on, and during the commercial breaks, I did my arms and my calf pumps. And you're like, cool. So I had 3-minute bouts of exercise with 15 minutes of rest in between. Not exactly high intensity, not exactly challenge to the system necessarily. Like, yeah, you did 9 minutes of activity, and yes, that's better than nothing, okay? But the whole idea of exercising is elevating your body to a level of discomfort that your body starts to recognize as a new challenge. That the body then goes, hey, we need to adapt to this. We need to get into better shape. We're going to respond. If you're taking 15-minute breaks, if you're not really getting your body to work up to a high enough level to really challenge it, yes, I know you can do burpees and jumping pull-ups for 3 minutes and be gassed. I understand that, but our demographic is not doing that, okay? We're talking about, as they'll suggest in here, some very basic things that you're doing. And I get it. Not everybody's gonna just say, hey, let's take an hour and go to the gym today. I understand, okay? My point is, I would rather, instead of doing these commercial breaks, I would rather you watch your show and then say, I'm gonna do a 15-minute workout, and then I'm gonna be done for the day with my exercise, and I'm gonna go back and watch the second half of my show. MacGyver's coming on, right? I wanna watch my shows, okay? Dateline's coming up or whatever, okay? That kind of mindset, things change a little bit when you have a designated time. What is my intention right now? Is it to watch the show, or is it exercise? Show, exercise, show, exercise. What are we doing here? Let's just go watch my show. When we're done, let's go exercise. Now I'm done. Let me come back to you see what I'm saying? It's the focus and the intention. How focused and how much intention are you putting into your exercise routine when you're doing it during a commercial break? Okay? Again, it doesn't have to be an hour every day, this and that. It could be a 15-minute workout or a 12-minute workout, just like you were going to do during your 4 commercial breaks, okay? It could be a 12-minute workout, but do it all at once is kind of my point. Like, get in the mindset of we're exercising, okay? All right, exercise number 1, I couldn't agree more. I love sit-to-stands. Probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite exercise. I think it's super applicable. It's easy to perform. It's very, very safe. You can load it. You can do body weight. You can change positions, change heights, change angles. I love sit-to-stands. And the instruction that they kind of give with these, it's good. They understanding they're not seeing the individuals in front of them, so they're kind of giving general information, very good information, right? And the idea is, yeah, you're gonna sit on your couch, you're gonna sit to a chair, your toilet. This is very life functioning and applicable to what we're gonna be doing, because you're gonna do at least 10 to 20 of these a day, okay? So couldn't agree more. Love the sit to stand, absolutely love it. Tandem stance. Tandem stance, you're standing bilaterally, feet even, and then you put one foot in front of the other like you're on a balance beam, and then you stay there for a certain amount of time, okay? 20, 30 seconds, whatever they're doing. And they want you to hold on to a countertop or something in front of you, and then once you feel stable, you can let go, and you try to balance with your feet in line, right? Exercise number 4, I'm going to jump here. Number 4 is a single leg balance. So you're standing bilaterally, 1 foot, and you pick up the other foot and you hold it there for about 30 seconds and then you switch feet, etc. So let's look at both of these, 2 and 4 together, the tandem inline and the single leg stance. What does standing in a balanced position do for you? Does it increase your balance? The answer technically is no. Okay? What standing on 1 foot does and standing in tandem does is it gets you better at standing on 1 foot or standing in balance in tandem. And I get it, people are going to go, well, that's increased balance. It's not necessarily. To increase your balance, you have to increase stability. To increase stability, there is a requirement of strength required to help you become more stable. So really the sit to stand and number 3, the farmer carry, okay, holding weights, walking back and forth, those 2 lifts are creating more strength and stability than either the other 2 are. The other 2 are performance tests, in my opinion. I'm going to see how you can stand on 1 foot, unilateral, how you can stand in line, bilateral, both feet on the ground, even though they're in one line, right? I'm going to use those as tests, not necessarily as training tactics, but as an assessment to see what can you do now? Let's train for 6 or 8 weeks, and then let's see what can you do then. And both of those would be very sound balance and coordination based movements. So I am going to test for balance, but is it increasing your balance to do them? Not necessarily, okay? You'll have a recruitment of musculature and stability. You'll have recruitments to try to help you balance and stay there, but does that balance transfer to locomotion? Meaning, if I get really good at balancing on 1 foot and then I transition and start walking, does the balance on 1 foot training make me better at walking or make me less of a fall risk when I am walking? And the answer is no. What balancing on 1 foot does is it teaches you how to be good at balancing on 1 foot. And what standing in tandem teaches you is to stand in tandem. That's about it, which are necessary things. There will be times where you're going to balance on 1 foot. There's going to be times where you're going to stand in tandem. And those are good things to practice. I'm not saying not to do them. I'm saying it's maybe not as efficient or effective as we think. And if you look at all 4 of these exercises, they're all sagittal based. Everything means it goes straight in front of you, right? So if we're worried about fall risks, where do most falls occur? Backwards and to the side. 45-degree angle, about 70% of our falls occur in that direction. So a drop step would be good. A lateral lunge step would be good. Farmer carries to go forward and backwards rather than turning around. Okay, sit to stands with adjusting your feet out to the side, like when you're getting out of a chair or getting out of a booth, right? Instead of just having your feet straight ahead, put 1 foot out at 45 degrees or at 90 degrees and practice transitions where you're shifting in and out, getting in and out of a car. It's not simple. It's not straight ahead, right? These different angles. So it's what we talk about. Is something better than nothing, or is something specific most efficient and better than anything else? Like, where are we going to spend our time? Because the clock is ticking. We are 50 years and older, and every effort that I put in, I want it to transfer to something. I want it to be beneficial for someone to do those things. We're not just here to check boxes and say, I did it today. We're here to get the best effort we can out of what we're doing. Now, I'm sure some people will hear this and go, I think it's great that my parents that are unmotivated decide to do sit to stands for 3 minutes during the commercial break. And I agree. I think that is fantastic. What I'm talking about is a mindset. What kind of mindset do you want to have for exercise? Do you want this to be something that you sprinkle in half-assed throughout your day, or do you want to have a designated time where you're like, this is my time to improve myself? Done. This is my time to read. Done. This is my time to cook. Done. Like, we're not mixing a whole lot of other things in our day like that. You don't read a book for 30 seconds and then go do your checkbook and then go out and cut the lawn for 30 seconds and then run back in and make your sandwich for 30 seconds and then go back to your squats again. Like, you go cut the lawn, you're done cutting the lawn. You come in, you make your lunch, you're done making your lunch. We do things with committed effort, or else it's going to take forever. And are you going to do it really well? If you're going in 30-second blocks to go cut your lawn every hour, are you going to do a great job at that? I mean, do you see my point? I know I'm giving exaggerated answers, but that's my point is like, why are we going to just sprinkle it through the day and say we exercised? Why not just take 15 to 20 minutes and say, this is exercise time. Let's give it our best effort. You know, I would rather have that 3 days a week than have 9 minutes sprinkled in every single day of the week. I don't think it's as beneficial as people suggest. Exercise isn't supposed to be this simple, easy little thing that 4 minutes a day and I'll get stainless steel buns and blah, blah, blah. The reason all those things are seen as scams and infomercials is because they are. They don't work. But you also don't have to be in the gym for an hour lifting, an hour of cardio 9 days a week, double days and this and that to have this amazingly strong and beautiful body. You don't have to do that. There's all this room in between. And that's what we teach, is how to do those things. So yes, all of these things, all of them are great. I think the sit to stand and the farmer carry are by far the most important out of these two. And then I do think getting some things that go in other directions would probably be very beneficial. The drop step, even if it's a gait step, literally just taking a backward step and returning to standing. You don't have to do the down and up lunge part. Literally just taking a backward step and returning while you have weights in your hands. I think that will do a lot for you. Now your center of mass still needs to lower down a little bit. So you actually take a 2.5 foot step behind you and then return to standing. Other foot, return to standing. Other foot, return to standing. And as soon as we grab onto a countertop or a chair, something that's fixed, our bodies need to balance, coordinate, stabilize it. It kind of all goes out the window because we just grabbed onto something that isn't capable of moving or that is so stable that it corrects for us. So that's where hanging onto a stick or a band or something that has play or give or balance or recruitment to it that could tip over is used as a aid or a crutch rather than just a strict countertop that's like, as soon as I put my hand on it, I am stable. There was no play in between. There's no more work on my end necessarily if I just grab onto something that's super stable. I've gone from 100% on my own to 100% not. You want to have some kind of play in there between to get better. That's where a hiking stick, literally a cane, or having, something that is able to support you and assist you. But if I don't balance it, it's going to fall over as well. Okay. So a drop step, your forward walking, farmer carries are great. Your sit to stands are great. And then, sprinkling in your mobilities 2 or 3 days out of the week, I think is fantastic. Again, this is for beginners, okay, building up. Have a 5 to 10 minute block right before you exercise where all you do is mobility work. Bird dogs, bridges, thoracic rotations, chest pulls, up and overs, hinge and holds, like just different exercises that work on ranges of motion that help you move and feel better. We have clients that do our 10-minute mobility routine 7 days a week. That's how they get up, they do everything we just talked about, and after being awake for a half hour, they do their mobilities, and then they go on about the rest of their day. We have others that do their whole mobility routine and then go golfing. Mobilities, they go lift. Mobilities, they go for a walk or a ruck. Mobilities, and they go play tennis. Point is they've got a plan, we've got a dedicated time, and they are committed to doing it right. This was a very long rant over a decent article, so I hope you enjoyed it. You got some good information. Any comments or questions, feel free to post them down below. I will get back to you. Please subscribe, please share, help us grow. That would be great. We appreciate you all. Much love to all of you, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.